One of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life is believing that one day I would understand enough, that I would be disciplined enough, that one day I would be ready. I would believe that success is some kind of destination. I was holding back from opportunities, waiting until I had the confidence, waiting for that certainty before I made a move, before I took a chance. I was waiting for motivation like it was this thing that comes around twice a year, that's dished out to everyone. The truth was, every time I reached somewhere new, it just opened another door. Trading taught me about losses, about how you need to learn to live with them and accept them, and how they're part of the process. And also how it's not the losses that define you. It's how you act after those losses. Trading also taught me about overtrading, about doing too much. Sometimes once you've done your part, that's all you have to do. The market was able to teach me and show me things that life had been trying to show me for years. Since I started posting content, I've learned many things. But one of the main things I learned was that sometimes you need to take action despite uncertainty, despite not knowing what the outcome may be. And for me, that was posting content. I didn't know what I was building, but I posted the videos anyway. Even though I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know what I was building, I was still getting traction anyway. I was getting follows, I was getting likes, and I was getting comments. And if I'm being completely honest, I still don't know what this becomes. Now, for someone who always wanted clarity, who always wanted to be certain before taking action, I can tell you firsthand, clarity does not come before movement. It is movement that creates clarity. Now, coming from someone who always wanted clarity, who always wanted some level of certainty before taking action, I can tell you, you don't always get that clarity. You don't get that certainty. In fact, often you're wasting time and you're passing on opportunities, looking for that certainty and looking for that clarity. The simple fix, the simple answer is to take action. It's just simply to take action. And through that action, you get real-time evidence, real-time feedback, whether what you're doing is right or whether what you're doing is wrong. And it's a much quicker process than you speculating on what could be and what might happen. Evidence is your proof. There's a reason why most people stay stuck, because they're endlessly scrolling, endlessly consuming food, content. They're watching films, they're watching the latest TV shows and reality shows. They're constantly overthinking and rarely taking action, endlessly doing research, but very rarely putting in a plan and executing. This is why they stay stuck. Let me tell you this, it doesn't matter how long you think about life. You could think about life forever, but eventually, life requires you to participate. The biggest shift, it wasn't becoming more disciplined, it wasn't becoming smarter, and it wasn't finding the perfect plan. It was realizing that life reveals itself through movement. So if you're feeling stuck, move. Not because you know where you're going, but because you'll never discover what's next if you keep standing still.